When you're working to rehab a PIP fracture, and a PIP fracture is this joint right here. This is the middle joint. So I'm going to just kind of draw out for you where your PIP fracture is. So it's either the end part of this bone or the bottom part of this bone. And this right here, your middle knuckle, is your PIP fracture. So how to rehab a PIP fracture? There's three major steps. One, you want to get motion. Two, you want to work on either your swelling or your scarring. And three, the last thing you want to work on is your strength. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about what those things actually mean. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. And if you have sustained a fracture at this middle joint, your PIP joint, I just want to tell you that this is probably one of the hardest parts of the hands that you could have injured and fractured. I want to say that first because every single time I work with patients with that type of fracture, they get really, really frustrated that, why isn't it getting better faster? And I just want to tell you that so that you can help to set your expectations, right? So number one of the top things that we want to do is try to get better motion fast. And one of the most important types of motion that you want to get, I know you think that it's about bending your finger, but this little joint tends to get stuck in what's called a flexion contracture. So it gets stuck in this middle range of not quite bending all the way down, but not straightening all the way up. So one of the most important things you want to do is get the motion. First, I always talk about getting the motion to get it as straight as possible, and then also to bend it down as much as possible, right? So you want to get the extension as much as possible. You want it to be as zero as possible. So I always say that my fingers, I have very hypermobile fingers. That means they bend up way straight. So if I had broken my finger, I would want to make sure I get it way straight as well. And that's one of the ways that I could get rid of the pain and the swelling. So you want to make sure you get that mobility, get that motion in this middle knuckle. And then once you start working on getting it straight, you can also work on bending it. That is one of the most important things when you're talking about rehabbing a PIP fracture. Number two is the swelling. So sometimes people think, oh my God, but I got to get the swelling down to get the motion. Actually, if you get the motion first, as you're getting the motion, you're going to help with the swelling coming down and down and down. Now, if you have had surgery, the other thing you're worried about and working on is moving that scar. Because if you take a look at your fingers, it is so different than any other parts of your body because there's muscles, there's tendons, and everything is so small that it gets stuck down to the bone, right? So one of the most important things I talk about is you see how you have wrinkles on the back of your knuckles and then on top of your fingers, right? You also have creases on the palmar side of your finger, right? But everything is so small and it gets stuck really fast. So you want to make sure you're moving that scar. So one of the best ways to do it is you just think, I need wrinkles. I always say it's the only place you want wrinkles, right? So you want to make sure that you're moving. So it requires some massaging. So the direction of how you massage can play a role as well. So you can massage it up, you can massage it down, you can actually look at my skin, you can roll it a little bit as well. Right? So, number one, motion. Number two, the swelling and the scarring is going to really help you. And the last thing you're going to work on is actually the strength. And the reason why I mentioned about how to rehab a PIP fracture is a lot of times people are like, I need to work on strength. Let me squeeze on a ball. But if you put a ball in your hand and you don't have motion, well, guess what? You're going to keep not having motion because you put something in your hand. So, Strength, once you get the motion, the strength part is actually the easiest part, and you'll get your hand much stronger as long as you work on getting the motion, working on getting the swelling down, and making sure that your skin and your scar, if you've had surgery, moving better. So those are the 3 steps to rehab a PIP fracture. If you're in the Miami area, my name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and we can help you figure out what you need and in what order and how to get the best possible results for your PIP fracture. Now, if you're not in Miami, one of the things that I recommend and I teach other therapists around the country and the world is you want to find a hand therapist, a certified hand therapist that could really help you understand where you're at with your PIP fracture because it's one of the most complicated injuries in the hand. And you want to make sure that you have a plan to see progress. You want to plan to see progress because, like I said, it can get really stiff, really fast, and it's extremely frustrating to work with. So, I want you to see that it's possible for you to get the best possible results. So, find somebody in your area that could really help teach you, like, where, based on where you're at, to get the best possible results. All right. Let me know if this video helped you understand the rehab of the PIP fractures. If this video has helped you, then click the like button. If you have any comments, I cannot give you personalized help because it's so complicated, but you can leave me questions, and what I can do with those questions is turn that into another video. So like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.